Senior Middle East and North Africa analyst at the risk intelligence company RAIN. He joins us now live. Great to have you on the programme. I just want your take on the fact, first of all, that we've had this apology from Benjamin Netanyahu to Qatar. My correspondent was saying right now that Benjamin Netanyahu is caving in. He's seeing a U-turn, this pressure coming from Donald Trump. Is that what you feel also?
Well, Netanyahu is going into a comparatively hostile White House. This is probably one of the more uncomfortable meetings that Netanyahu is going to be having in Washington since Donald Trump returned to office. And so this is one of the easier, simple things for him to do to offset some of that pressure. As one of your other correspondents noted, Trump is influenced by the last person in the room with him, but he's also influenced by people he believes are going along with his policy objectives. So Netanyahu wants to appease Trump on this front, and a simple phone call to the Emir of Qatar is one of those simpler things to do.
How much pressure do you feel and see coming from Trump's MAGA base with regards to Trump actually stopping Israel's war on Gaza and actually finally for this fourth visit there, speaking to Benjamin Netanyahu and actually getting him to stop killing people, a genocide as it's been recognized as by the UN?
I think that there's multiple areas in which that pressure is trickling up to the White House. On the right, it's not substantial yet. It certainly doesn't matter yet in Congress under Republican control. There is no group of Republican senators or congresspeople that are able to block Israeli arms packages. In fact, we have another one that's coming up soon. The Democrats do have more substantial pressure within their party, but Trump does not care what they think. And so the pressure right now is still on the margins, but it is moving up in a direction that I think affects Trump's coverage of this ongoing trend. He cares very much about how the media is portraying himself and his foreign policies, and they are becoming more critical of Israel in different ways. And I think he wants to get ahead of that and reclaim this mantle that he ran on, which is that he ends wars rather than starts them or enables them. And I think that's what he's trying to do right now with this 21-point peace plan.
And of course, we've seen many meetings like this before. What are you really expecting? Because we've heard Donald Trump saying he's very confident of achieving peace, but these are just words at the moment.
Yes, and I think that Trump is hoping that the moment is right for Israel to accept a temporary ceasefire. And from my perspective, this looks like another temporary ceasefire, because the further you get along this list of 21 points, the more difficult it is to see the Israelis agreeing to it. And there are sections of it that are hard to see Hamas agreeing to it as well. But they can certainly agree to the initial steps, which is to stop combat, to allow humanitarian aid, to exchange prisoners and hostages. Those are things they've done before, and I think that those are achievable now. With that being said, whether or not we can get this to stick, or whether or not the United States can get this to stick, I think is a very open question that is contingent on Trump's willingness to use America's substantial military and diplomatic leverage over Israel to force it to do things that the Israeli government does not want to do. It's far right, after all, does not want to give up on the Gaza war. It wants to recolonize the Gaza Strip. And unless they can overcome that constraint with leverage, I don't see this ceasefire sticking beyond its initial stages.
Exactly, Ryan, and that really is the issue, is that domestically, and that pressure he has from his far-right members of his cabinet. Why would Benjamin Netanyahu want to stop Israel's war on Gaza right now?
I think it would buy him some time ahead of elections, which are due next year, to try to reframe the narrative. He right now looks like a leader who not only has unsuccessfully prosecuted the war against Hamas, but even enabled the assault on Israel prior to October 7th. His war against Iran is seen largely popularly, but that's now months ago. People are already starting to forget, in terms of how they evaluate Netanyahu's leadership, how well Israel has done against Iran and Hezbollah. Instead, what they see is a 2-year-long war that looks like it's not going to come to an end. And if Netanyahu can show that he can get hostages home and start to reframe the conversation into a post-war Gaza that might meet some of Israel's maximalist war objectives, that's the best chance he's got of resetting that narrative. I don't think he'll be very successful at it. I think Israelis are beyond the point of forgiving him for his stewardship of this war, but I think that's the best he's got, and he's going to try for it.
Ryan, thank you so much. Really appreciate your analysis on this important day. Ryan Bohl, Senior Middle East and North Africa analyst. Thank you.